let's call it. And thank you everybody for returning to the third series of the Self-Care Kit with Pat Wright, our guru. Tonight will be Mindfulness of Thoughts. How wonderful. Next week, please join us for Standing and Walking, and that will be the completion of the survey, the completion of the series. And also Pat will be sending a survey as she is looking for your feedback along the way for her practicum. Also, this session is being recorded, and please feel free to ask questions in the chat. At this point in time, Pat, I will pass over the facilitation rights, and feel free to, do your thing for us. I've made you the official host, and if I need to re-record anything, please, correct me along the way. I have no issues with that. I'm also going to mute it. Yeah, I'm also going to mute everybody.
Beautiful, thank you.
I can't mute everybody now because I gave you the right, so you can do it.
Okay, so I have to go to mute all. Yes, okay, beautiful. All right, so since we had a couple new people join us tonight, I'll just briefly go over that for those of you that are joining for the first time tonight. About a decade ago, I began learning about meditation, and I chose to learn Zazen, Vipassana, and Insight meditation from many different teachers: Jack Kornfield, Tara Brach, Sharon Salzberg, Joseph Goldstein, and Haekwan Sunim. I also received valuable teachings from Thich Nhat Hanh, Ram Dass, Pema Chodron, Eckhart Tolle, and Michael Singer. I'm certified in Qigong, medical Qigong, meditation, and Reiki. And I'm currently completing my practicum as a mindfulness meditation teacher through Jack Kornfield and Tara Brach's certification program. So I just want to note again that these classes are being recorded and will be submitted as part of my certification requirements. So that's why we have muted you all to avoid any background noise. And you will be unmuted during the Q&A segment, so I look forward to having a rich discussion then. And if you don't feel comfortable being recorded, please feel free to use the chat window. And as Dina also mentioned, I'll be sending out a student evaluation form, as that's an essential certification requirement as well. So I'm looking forward to your valuable feedback, so please complete them and return them to me. So let's take a moment to pause and arrive here in this moment together. So I'll invite you to gently close your eyes and take a few full breaths, sensing the rising and relaxing back of your lower abdomen, your belly. Inhale, belly rising. Exhale, belly relaxing back. Following the inflow and the outflow. Inflow and outflow. And as you follow my voice, bring your attention to the top of your head. Gently begin to scan down, relaxing and releasing your forehead. Soften your eyebrow and eyes. Soften your cheeks. Relax and release your jaw. Relax your tongue. Soften and release through your neck and shoulder, letting go of any tension or tightness. Soften and release your neck and shoulders. Soften and relax down through your triceps. Relax your biceps. Coming down, softening into your forearm. Relax your wrists. Soften your palm. Relax and release your fingers all the way down to your fingertips. Bringing your attention back to the top of your head. Soften and relax your face even more now. Coming down, soften and relax your whole chest. Relax and release your whole abdomen. Soften your belly. Relax your hips. Coming down, soften and relax your thigh. Coming down, soften and relax your calf. Relax your ankle. Soften and relax your feet, all the way to the tips of your toes. Energy flows through a soft body. It's nature. When we soften and relax our body, stale energy is released, fresh energy is restored. Soften and relax even more now as you bring your attention back to the top of your head. Soften and relax down the back of your head, down through the nape of your neck. Soften and relax through the back of your shoulders. Coming down, soften and relax your whole back. Soften and relax your buttocks. Coming down, soften and relax the back of your thigh. Coming down, soften and relax your calves. Coming down to the soles of your feet. Soften and relax the bottom of your feet, all the way to the tips of your toes. And as you inhale and exhale, feel your whole chest. Breathing in and out, feel your whole chest. Now feel your whole chest and caring for a loved one or pet as you inhale and exhale. Whole chest and caring as you inhale and exhale. Feel your whole chest and being cared for by another as you inhale and exhale. Whole chest and being cared for as you breathe in and out. And as you gently open your eyes, I'll invite you to intend to stay aware and connected, mindful of your body as you listen. Over the last 2 weeks, we've explored and added the anchors of breath, sound, and touch points, as well as a body scan to our self-care kits. Tonight, I'd like to introduce Mindfulness of Thoughts. When a great meditation master from the Far East was asked how the modern world appeared to him, he replied, "Lost in thought." Over the last 2 weeks, our meditation practice has revealed how quickly our attention wanders back to the mental control tower. When we practice paying attention in this way, we start to see and become familiar with the inner landscape of the thoughts and beliefs that run our world. Many have been conditioned, many of our thoughts have been conditioned by our families, culture, teachers, and communities. The mind secretes thoughts the way the salivary gland secretes saliva. It's pretty much constant. It's just what it does. Words and images and ideas and visions and memories and plans keep coming through. So let's take a moment now to notice our thoughts. So let's count the picture thoughts, the word thoughts, whatever kind of thoughts that arise. Remember that the numbers are thoughts, so we don't want to follow those. That's kind of like the cat chasing its tail. So instead, we want to be the cat that's looking at the mouse hole, waiting for the thoughts to come out. And I'll also remind you that they can be very sneaky. They come up from behind and say, it's been pretty quiet for a while. That would be a thought that you would want to count. So I'll invite you to close your eyes and take a moment to count the thoughts that you have for a few moments. Coming back now, I'll invite you to open your eyes. So how many thoughts did you count? Let's raise your hand, or those that don't have the video, I invite you to use the chat window. I'm curious, when you raise your hands, how many of you had less than 5 thoughts? Oh, how many had more than 5 thoughts? Okay, we have 6. Anyone have higher than 6 thoughts? Okay, so someone who has less than 5 and someone who has 6. Does that mean the one who's less than 5 had less thoughts? Or does that mean the person who had 6 thoughts had longer thoughts? Interesting to think about. So were they picture thoughts? How many of you had primarily picture thoughts? Visual thinkers. And how many of you had word thoughts with no pictures? Okay, cool. And how many had video and audio portion together? So all these different ways of thinking. One of the things that happens as we begin to really pay attention to the thought stream is you're going to begin to notice how many are reruns. Thinking creates much of our world, all the roads, bridges, cities, and buildings, medicine, clothing, and all the things that we live within were ideas in someone's mind. And so mind is both can be very creative in enormous ways. Understanding the nature of mind is critical to our happiness or to our suffering. Who is your enemy, said the Buddha. Mind is your enemy. No one can harm you more than a mind untrained. Who is your friend? Mind is your friend. No one can assist you and care for you better than a mind well trained. Not even the most loving mother or father. Buddha was very astute over 2,500 years ago. As we sit quietly and sense our breath and body and notice what's happening, we'll begin to see we're thinking, planning, remembering, judging, fantasizing, and analyzing, to name but a few, and that there are long streams of thoughts, long storylines. You could be very thirsty, really, really thirsty, and have lots of thoughts about being thirsty. But it's definitely not the same as picking up the glass and having the cool water touch your lips, past your tongue, and go down your throat. When we live in an incessant stream of thoughts, we're severed from that direct experience. We're not in that present moment. We're lost in our virtual reality. As I like to refer to it, I've gone to the movies in my mind. But rest assured, thoughts are normal. Thought streams are in everyone. And if you could put a little speaker on the side of everyone's head, you'd be able to hear the movie playing on the screen of their mind. Oh my, wouldn't that be interesting? The more we practice and begin to be aware, we'll notice the inner dialogue that's going on, and that we're talking to ourselves and making a commentary and planning and so forth. Next time you're meeting with people or having a conversation at work or with family or friends, or maybe when you're walking down the street or along a stream or a lake, or taking a walk in the woods or the forest, or maybe even tomorrow morning or tonight when you're taking a shower. Notice the inner commentary and know that you're not unique in that. Every one of us does. So we begin by noticing how many planning thoughts or worried thoughts or self-judging thoughts or our creative thoughts. As we learn the landscape, then we can name the thoughts, naming them as they arise: planning, worrying, judging, analyzing, creating. Noticing thoughts come and they exist for a time and then they pass away, like the clouds in the sky. Clouds arise in the space of the sky, then dissolve under the sunlight. So too our thoughts. They arise in the space of mind when we observe them or witness them. When we're aware of a thought and we don't engage with it, they dissolve and pass away all on their own. Thoughts and words can directly affect us. So I want you to experience this. So again, I'll invite you to gently close your eyes and say the word trouble. Repeat it to yourself a few times. Trouble. And notice what happens. Trouble. Shift your attention into your body. Notice the effect this one word has on your body. Now repeat the word kindness to yourself a few times and notice what happens. Notice the effect of the word kindness on your body. And as you gently open your eyes, did the word trouble contract your body, causing some contraction, some tension and tightness? One word caused all of that. And then when you said the word kindness, did you feel a little bit more open and relaxed in your body? Maybe even lifted your mood a little? Thoughts and words impact our body and mind. So we practice being mindful of our thoughts, naming them as they arise, and returning over and over again to our anchor. It's this power of returning that deconditions our habitual conditioned patterns and brings us back to the present moment. Remember, neurons that fire together wire together with a kind, curious attention, noticing, recognizing your thought, and then returning to the body. That's what changes the neural pathways in the brain. So let's explore this. I'm going to invite you to find your comfortable position where your back is tall yet relaxed, feet on the floor unless you choose to be cross-legged. Resting your hands in your lap or on your thighs. Sitting in a way that promotes a relaxed alertness and ease. And once you've found your comfortable position, gently close your eyes, or if you wish, downcast them with a softened gaze towards the ground. Take a moment to feel your sit bones against your seat, supporting you. Feel your feet connect with the ground or seat beneath you, supporting you. And let's begin at the nostrils. Inhale and exhale through your nose. Following the inflow and the outflow. Inflow and outflow. Now coming down to your chest. As you inhale, feel your chest rising. And as you exhale, feel it relaxing back. Inhale, rising. Exhale, relaxing back. Following the inflow and the outflow. Coming down now to your lower abdomen, to your belly. As you inhale, feel your belly rising. And as you exhale, feel your belly relaxing back. Inhale, rising. Exhale, relaxing back. Following the inflow and the outflow. Now bring your attention to the top of your head. Take a few moments to begin to scan down your body for any area of tension or tightness or pain. Tend to each of those areas by bringing a warm, kind, caring attention to them. And if it's an area that you can reach, I invite you to bring a warm, loving hand to offer it care. And if it's especially tender, you may wish to breathe with it to help it soften and relax. And once you've tended those areas, go ahead and choose your anchor for this exploration. Breath, sounds, or sensations of a body scan. And once you've chosen your anchor, stay with it. Let it steady and support you. And know that in the moment that you notice your attention wanders, that's a magic moment. You're waking up. Softly whisper to yourself, thinking, thinking, and return to your anchor. Breath, sounds, or sensations. And this time, in the moment you notice your attention wander, softly whisper whatever has arisen. Note it softly, whether it's planning, remembering, judging, analyzing, fantasizing, whatever's arising. Whisper it softly and return to your anchor. Breath, sounds, or sensation. You may also wish to notice whether it's a thought of the future or a thought of the past. Softly whisper future or past and return to your anchor, to this moment, to breath, sounds, or sensations. Softly whisper what's arising. Come back to your anchor. And in the moment that you notice that your attention has wandered, softening your whisper even more, note what's arising, worrying, planning, thinking, and return to your anchor, aware of breath, sounds, sensation. Softly whisper what's arising. Come back to your anchor. Aware of breath, sounds, or sensations. And in the moment that you notice your attention has wandered, softly whisper whatever's arising, planning, worrying, judging, whatever's arising. Come back to your anchor. Softening your whisper even more. Note what's arising. Come back to your anchor. Aware of breath, sounds, or sensation. In the moment that you notice your attention has wandered, softly whisper, note what's arising. Come back to your anchor. Back to this moment. Softly whisper what's arising. Come back to your anchor. Back to this moment. Aware of breath, sounds, or sensations. And coming back now, I'll invite you to gently open your eyes. Set your intention to practice mindfulness of your thoughts. Mind thinks, that's what it does. Hold what it rises lightly with a kind curiosity, and a sense of humor helps. And as you do, you'll see your thoughts are like the clouds in the sky. As you continue to practice, you'll begin to notice your top 10 that repeat frequently. Be kind, gentle, and patient with yourselves. Come home over and over and over again, back to the present moment, back to your anchor. Remember, what we practice becomes stronger. When we practice self-care, self-care becomes stronger. Mindfulness of thoughts, the third tool in your self-care kit. Are there any questions? Please raise your hand or comment in the chat window. Or if anyone would like to share their experience tonight, feel free. How it felt. You have to unmute yourselves. Okay, so I have one comment already. It says, I find it challenging at times to breathe and to be conscious of my thoughts. How do I manage this? It's the coming into your body to begin first when you start. Really allowing your anchor to steady you. And then as you begin, is being aware that it's just recognizing when your mind has wandered. And as soon as you recognize it, it's that power of returning over and over and over again. And over time, that's what strengthens. Your awareness gets stronger each time you do it. And it's just a practice of doing it over and over and over again. As I think I recall, I shared with you in the very first time I sat to meditate, I was maybe a few seconds before my mind took me off into many different places. But it's the power of returning over and over again. When you recognize it, come back to your anchor. Recognize, come back to your anchor. And sometimes I could be off on a fantasy that I was in Bali or wherever I was. It's the moment that I realized where I was. It was returning again. So thank you for that question. Anyone else have any comments? You have to unmute yourself or to share your experience. What it was like for you tonight. Please feel free to use the chat window. Yes, Marie.
What I noticed is that when my thoughts would go off to the movies, as you put it, I could feel my body contracted, and then when I would bring it back to my dantian, or my lower abdomen, um, then it would start relaxing again. But it kept going off, contract, back to the lower abdomen, relax. And it was just like going back and forth.
Beautiful. So what you're saying, if I can paraphrase, is you used your lower abdomen, your lower dantian as your anchor.
Yes.
So that when the thoughts took you, your story took you wherever it took you, you actually were aware of the contraction in your body. So well done. That's beautiful. Your awareness is very, very strong to be able to know that. And that when the power of returning back to your lower dantian, as you called it, or your lower abdomen, you could feel the body relax when you came back to your anchor. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's a beautiful practice. And let's see, I think we have another. Should we designate one word that allows us to return? I've always looked at that as my magic moment. That's, for me, that's my waking up. I've woken up out of my thought, out of my story. So yes, you could use a word for that. I always, I'm waking up. I woke up, I'm aware. Aware might be a great word, but it has to resonate with you for sure. So yes, great question. Thank you. Anyone else like to share or ask questions? You have to unmute yourself, Karen. There you go.
Pat, when you talked about your anchor, for me, I find I need to concentrate just on my breathing, or
Okay.
just slowly in and out. And that, I guess that seems to hold me better, even though I know I'm trying to breathe all the way down, like just slowly and deeply. So is that my anchor then, by focusing kind of on my breathing in and out? Because
Yes.
that seems to help me relax and focus, even though I had these judgmental thoughts coming in, and it's like, okay, to focus on my breathing again, and then I just feel that calmness in my muscles.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, is it my breathing then, Pat?
Yeah, it sounds very much to me like it sounds like you've chosen, since you're choosing to focus your attention on your breathing, that would be your anchor. So that's what you're coming back to. So that when you become aware, you've noticed that you've wandered and you went to your judgmental thoughts that you just spoke about. You knew when you woke up that that's what that was, and you came back to your breathing to come back again. So yes, your breathing is your anchor. Beautiful. Yeah, great. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else want to share what tonight's experience was like for them, or have any questions, or want to share the progression of their meditation practice over this is our third week. And I'm also mindful that people may not want to be recorded, so please feel free to use the chat. I think a couple might be typing, so I'm just going to give it a moment. I can see someone typing, so I will wait a few moments. Okay, so I'd like to focus on breathing. What are some other anchors? Do you mean specifically, so that I understand your question, just on breathing itself? Or do you want to choose another anchor? Is that what your question is? Another anchor could be sounds, like we did in the very first class. We went through breathing where it could be at your nostrils, your chest, or your lower abdomen. And we did counting and a number of different things that you can do to anchor yourself with breath. And then we moved to sounds. And sounds is just about pausing to listen to sounds both near and far. It could also be listening to be attuned to the sounds even within your own body. And then the other one would be touch points. So we talked about our hands as being touch points to anchor us, or our feet. We also talked about we could use the touch points of our buttocks as well, our sit bones and our seat. And then we also, the following week, we did a body scan where we went to sensations. So you can anchor yourself, which is really cool, by just following a progressive body scan to anchor you more into your body away. And then when your thoughts draw you away, to come back and do the body scan and note your sensations as well. Does that answer what you were looking for? Yes, awesome, thank you. Great question, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Well, I'd like to be mindful and respectful of everyone's time. So if no one else has any other questions or comments to offer, I will, next week we're going to explore standing and walking meditation. And so I would like you to choose a quiet area where you'll be able to walk about 10 or 15 paces in one direction and be able to hear my voice. And I'm looking forward to that for next week. That'll be a great exploration with you. And I'll leave you with this tonight by Martha Postlewaite, who wrote this poem. This is part of the poem. Do not try to save the world or do anything grandiose. Instead, create a clearing in the dense forest of your life. And with that, I will say thank you for your kind attention. And I'll see you next week, and have a great night, everyone. Thank you, everyone. See you next week. Bye.